Hey everyone!
Hi.
So in this video we're going to show you the main dining room and the food available on the MSC Euribia.
Yep.
Now we like to do these for every ship that we go on, especially this is important on an MSC cruise, I would say, just because there isn't many included dining options.
No.
So I think it's important to show the main dining room because it's somewhere that you could probably be using a lot on an MSC cruise, I would say.
Yeah, pretty much, because it's either this or the buffet.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
So just before we get into it, if you've watched any of our other main dining room videos on other cruise ships, we've had to film this one a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Normally we would like to sit and dine at the time and try the food and tell you about it then, but we haven't been able to with this one.
No. The tables are so close together. They are literally the width of your cruise card away from each other.
We hadn't cruised with MSC for a year.
Yeah.
And on day of embarkation when we went and saw the table that we'd been given, straight away we thought, oh yes, I can remember with MSC that the tables are very, very close together, so bear that in mind.
Well, I mean,
more so than any other cruise ship we've been on.
I mean, the first table we were given, we were on a table of sharing of like, was it 8 or 10 people? Then we had to ask to be moved. So like we said, if you've seen the embarkation or the gala night video, on the gala night video, nobody actually sat next to us.
No, we dropped on, didn't we?
We had to have the 9:30 sitting. So luckily nobody was next to us for that one, so we could do that with ease. Whereas lunch and breakfast especially, because they're in the smaller side restaurants, are so loud. It's been hard.
So just bear that in mind, because obviously we'll go through it in a second, but you do request a shared table or a private table.
Yes.
And even though you might say private,
And the time.
Yeah, that private is, I would say, debatable. And the last thing we want to do with these videos is, first of all, because the tables are so close together, it's very noisy, so you wouldn't be able to hear us properly. And the other thing as well, we're always very cautious. That's why on other cruise ships we always go in, look at the tables, and then we request a quieter table, because as well we don't want to disturb others.
Nope.
We'd have to talk very loud, and we don't want to disturb others when they are eating next to us. So we've had no choice but to do it this way, but we'll try and show as much as we can and go into the detail as we can, but we can't obviously taste the food now.
Okay, so technically there are 5 main dining rooms on board this ship. You've got the Aurora Borealis and the Aurora Boreale, which we've been saying are the sister MDRs, because they are identical little ones across the room.
Just on opposite, one's on port side, one's on starboard side.
And then you've got, the names are a little bit weird. You've got the Colorado River, and then you've got the Green Orchid. I don't know what they've got to do with
I think it's because on the Virtuosa they were all musical related.
Yeah, but I just don't get where these relate to each other. If you know, leave us a comment. And then there is the Aurea Al Campo restaurant. So if you're an Aurea guest, I keep getting Aurora and Aurea mixed up. If you're an Aurea guest, you get to dine at any time.
Yeah, because if you're not an Aurea guest, they get the My Choice dining, which I believe that's something we've never done, because I believe that they book up quite early.
Yeah.
And we always book our cruises quite late, really, so there's never been an option to be an Aurea guest.
No, because we're Bala.
Yes.
And we've only ever been Fantastica once. We barely get the choice of Fantastica, so never mind Aurea.
Yeah, so in general, it isn't freedom dining.
No.
So how it works is, when we booked the cruise, you get to pick an option. So as I'll explain in a minute, that isn't guaranteed. So we picked a private table, and then you pick a dining time. So I think when we booked, it was 5:30 or 8:30, and we picked the earlier dining. Now when we checked in on the day of embarkation and got given our cruise card, it tells you on there what your dining restaurant is, because you don't pick that, they pick that for you, and also what your dining time is. So we got given the Aurora Boreale.
Yeah. And it tells you your table number, and that's how we figured out we were on a shared table.
Because we went to the restaurant and had a look, and we also, the time on the cruise card was 8:30 or 8:15. So what we did on the day of embarkation, it tells you on the sheet that you get given on the day of embarkation when you check in. He says any dining inquiries go to
the Green Orchid.
The Green Orchid.
At 1 till 4.
Yes, it tells you where to go and between what times. So we went to that restaurant and we said to them, you know, and obviously this is depending on how full the ship is, because it picks up at different ports as well, different days.
So that can
affect it. So we went to them and we said, well, you know, he confirmed, yes, this is a shared table. So he said, is there any chance we can change to a private table and to an earlier dining time? Now, we had to compromise because he said the only way I can give you a private table, which at the time we thought, well, that's great for filming, even though we haven't been able to do it anyway, so we may as well have had the shed. But he said the only way I can give you a private table is if you dine at 9:30.
Yeah.
So
we took it.
He changed us to a different restaurant as well. So that's just the thing to bear in mind, is, you know, it's not guaranteed. What you request at the time of booking the cruise isn't always guaranteed.
Because the guy did say when we went to change it, he said to us, you've got no chance of getting the 5 o'clock
for a private table.
He says you've got no chance. It's they just go. So bear that in mind. You may request the 5. It's not guaranteed.
No, but that dining time that you get given and that table that you get given, which is the same table for the whole of your cruise, that only applies for dinner. So for breakfast and lunch, we'll put an example up now of the screen of the opening times, but you just turn up for whichever restaurant is open. It might not necessarily be the restaurant that you dine in for dinner, and you just turn up any time between them times and they'll just seat you then.
Because whilst we've been on board, breakfast has been the Aurora Borealis and the Aurora Boreali. And then lunch has only been the Aurora Boreali. So the main big ones haven't been open for breakfast or lunch, so they're only your dinner.
Just check the schedule when you're on, because whether we change that up from cruise to cruise, you know, I'm not sure. But you just turn up at any time for breakfast and lunch within the opening hours. For dinner as well, if your dining time, say ours was 9:30, like we just said before, you get given 15 minutes to get there. So it said we can turn up between 9:30 and 9:45. When we've been sat in for dinner, we have noticed people turning up about 10, and it's a little bit naughty, really. Just be, you know, it helps to keep things organised, and it's only fair on the crew members that you keep to them times. They didn't kick these people out, but obviously, you know, it's just courtesy, and
because they work such long days, they work so hard.
You're just keeping them in there even longer, really.
Just
you know,
give them a break.
Get bed, because believe me, you see these waiters at dinner time, and then late at night when we were leaving the restaurant at say 10:30, 11:15, you'd see them back in the morning for breakfast. So they do work long hours. So just try it's a 15-minute window that you get for turn up.
Right, okay, let's get on to the food now. So for breakfast, it's one menu throughout your cruise. Doesn't change. It's not like a daily menu like lunch and dinner. No, it's not a bad sized menu.
No, it's quite good, really.
It's not the smallest one we've had on a cruise ship. You can check these menus for breakfast, lunch and dinner. You can get them on the app, or you can get them by scanning the QR code at the table, and that's what I did, scan the QR code at the table, and then I've been able to save them throughout the week. And that's where we've got these menus from, to give you an example. So as you can see, like, they do a couple of set breakfasts. You can get some omelettes and eggs and all stuff like that, and I mean, if you wanted to make your own up, they'll let you do that.
Oh yeah, they're very accommodating, aren't they, like that? So the breakfast was nice, to be honest.
It wasn't the worst like stuff we've ever had from a breakfast on a cruise ship.
No, not at all.
Your pancakes were quite big.
I had 2 big pancakes. Let me just, I did laugh because I like to have eggs Benedict, and there was one cruise line we went with when it just came out and the muffin was it was one muffin cut in half, but then they only gave me one half, and I was like, where's the other half? And then we went on Norwegian Cruise Line, and they actually gave me both halves of the muffin, and then we've come on here and it's back to just one half of the muffin again. So I was treated well with Norwegian.
So if you want 2 halves of your muffin with 2 eggs, remember, order 2. These are just little things that until you've done it, you don't realise. But no, they've got a decent selection. You get your drinks. They come round. Now, compared to other MSC ones we've been on, because this is probably the busiest one, it's taken a little bit longer.
For breakfast, lunch and dinner overall. Yeah,
so,
it's been very busy in the main dining room.
Yeah, because this has got a lot of people on this cruise compared to other ones we've been on. So always just give yourself a little bit more time, especially if you want to get off the ship that day and stuff like that. Just bear all these things in mind.
Yeah.
It sometimes could take a little bit longer than you used to.
Yeah, that's it.
All.
Right, so on to lunch now. We'll pop over some examples of the menus that have been available for us, and also some photos now, or some footage of the actual food that we have in there. I personally prefer the food at lunchtime in the main dining room. I've actually preferred the lunch over dinner. The only thing is, probably starter wise, it's not always been the biggest option. I don't think sometimes I've even had a starter. I've just had a main, because it's always been like a couple of salads or something like that. Nothing exciting starter wise at lunch, but the mains I thought have been quite nice.
Yeah, I think normally it's been a salad, a soup, and then one other for the starter. So say kind of a small selection, and then the main selection has been about the same as it has been for dinner, 5 or 6 items, but at lunch you get more sandwiches, more burgers.
Yes.
So, if that's what you fancy.
There always seems to, because don't forget with MSC, it's a Italian cruise line. I can't appreciate it because I don't like pasta. I have really tried getting into it, but I just don't like pasta. And obviously it's Italian cruise line. They always seem to have a pasta menu, a pasta dish on a lot. So you've tried it and you've said it's very nice. Obviously, I don't appreciate it because I don't like pasta, but you said the pasta's been nice.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of pasta, try it out on this Italian cruise line.
Exactly. Now, one other thing is, now this goes for lunch and dinner, there's a paid for option of a Tbone Steak. Now this is a 500 gram or 1.1 pound Tbone Steak, and that is €18, and then it'll have that 15% gratuity added on top of that, service gratuity.
I suppose they've got Le Grill, which is kind of a bit of a steakhouse, but say if there's 2 of you or a group of you and only one of you maybe like steak and you don't want to pay for all of you to go to the specialty restaurant, it's maybe a good option if one of you just wants to have the steak, but you just want to, the rest of you want to stay in the main dining room.
The option's there for you, isn't it? And then desserts wise, similar to the evening, you get about, I'm just having a look now, maybe 5-6 different options, but it's probably less cakey at lunch, and there's more sundaes and bits like that.
I will give it to him as well, plating wise, to be honest with you, that's something that doesn't particularly bother me, but I noticed when we first went on the Virtuosa, I think the plating's a little bit better. They chucked it on a little bit there, where they tried to make a bit of an effort. To be honest with you, that doesn't bother me, but I suppose it looks a bit more presentable.
Yeah. They're up in the game on presentation.
They're making an effort.
And then dinner now. Once again, we'll put some menus over so you can have a look. So one of these has been the gala night dinner, the elegant night dinner.
Yeah, we did manage to film that, so that's on a separate video. Because like I said before, there was no one next to us, so that was okay.
Yeah, but there have been the odd theme night. I think there was a Mediterranean night as well. I think that's it. I believe we've had more theme nights on other MSCs than this. We've only had Mediterranean, really, don't include the gala.
Yeah.
I believe we've had more theme nights on other cruises.
Looking back, I think, probably did,
so, looking at it now, like I say, we had 6 starters. So you get double the amount at dinner than you do at lunch, so you've got more choice. Same amount, 5 or 6 main courses. Now, bread, they do leave you a basket of mixed little rolls and breadsticks at your table, whereas they used to come around.
Yeah, they used to come around, which is, I suppose it's easier for them really, because they used to come around with this big basket and you're like, can I have one of them? One of them, please.
See, now, this is the problem. Sometimes you don't like, can I have one, please?
Yeah.
And now, because sometimes there's been 5.
We've eaten it.
We've eaten it. You may say in the comment, you didn't have to eat it. we didn't want to waste it, let's say.
I know, that's the only thing, isn't it? Yeah.
That's our excuse.
Oh well.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, and another thing to mention as well, water is included, and they give you a 1 litre bottle of water.
That they open there and then, only
Yes, it's
for
fresh.
you. So what we have noticed, we've done it ourselves a couple of times only because we noticed other people doing it, is you can take that bottle of water with you afterwards. So if you want to take it back to your cabin and use it for a drink in the night or something
that's what
like
we've
that.
done.
But yeah, they just bring the actual bottle, pour it in your glass, and then they leave you the
Yes.
bottle. So yeah, people take it with them. Say we have as well.
Yeah, saves you. If you haven't got a drinks package, I can go buy one or running up the buffet
exactly,
for go and get one. The food again, it's much the same, but it's just a little bit more. Obviously, there's no sandwiches at dinner. It's more of a it sounds silly. It is more of a warmer plated meal than just a sandwich and chips.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, we've had some chips extra as well, so don't worry, we've had them.
A lot of beef dishes, I would say. Do
Yes.
tend to do many chicken dishes?
No, there haven't been that many chicken dishes.
Only if it's been curry.
Yes, we tend to have one pasta. There's always been either a paella or a risotto.
Yeah.
So there's always a rice and a pasta dish. And then, just looking at this one, there's a seafood, and then this one had veal and then hummus.
Right, okay.
And then you always end up with what they call a classic roast. So it could be like lamb, pork, beef. But tonight, because it made me laugh, the classic roast tonight on the menu is butter chicken.
Oh, is it actually chicken on tonight?
Yeah, but it's a curry. How is that a classic roast?
Yeah. And then desserts at dinner. At lunchtime, they tended to be a bit more like ice cream sundaes, and then for dinner, it tended to be more like cakey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so more like...
The easiest way to describe it is just cakey.
Yeah, like, there was like Black Forest Gatto, or I think there was tiramisu. There was always a cheese selection on there. But yeah, the desserts have been nice. I forgot as well with MSC, but it's not a problem. The portions are a little bit smaller than, say, maybe some other cruise lines, but you can order. They aren't bothered in there, as long as you eat it and you don't waste it. I mean, we didn't, but there was a table near us, and the people on there, they were having a main as a starter, then they were having another main for their main. I think they then ordered another main on top of that. So obviously, like any cruise ship really, traditionally, you look at the menu and it's a starter, main and dessert, and if you haven't cruised before, you think that's gospel and you have to stick by that.
Yeah, of course.
But it really isn't. And like you say, if it is that you just don't fancy any of the starters, or you only just want a main, then do that.
Yeah.
But then, like I say, if you want two mains and have one as a starter, you had a Caesar salad that should have been a main as a starter.
That was the lunch. There was on the lunch menu. There was always available Caesar salad and just a spaghetti and a chili oil.
But you had that as your starter, and then you had another main as your main.
Because I had it the day before, and it was only a small portion, so I thought that's a salad. It's only a starter.
I've just thought as well, something to point out. I've never seen this before. Not even when we've been on MSC cruises before. I didn't notice it anyway. When something says a burger, it'll then say with potato chips. Now, I've never heard fries called potato chips before. Obviously, the Americans call potato chips, which we call crisps.
Yes.
But I've never seen fries called potato chips. And some of the dishes would say, hamburger or steak Diane or whatever it was, and it would say with potato chips, and I thought that was going to be crisps, so I'd say, can I have some fries? I mean, I have fries on the side anyway, but I'd ask for extra fries, and if you see potato chips, it means fries. I don't know why they call it that.
I'm guessing there's just been a typo somewhere.
Maybe,
It must be, because it's always been fries. We've never had crisps.
I was like, they're using the American version, so it's going to be crisps that comes out of my hamburger, but it's always been fries where it says potato chips.
I'm guessing that somebody's used Google Translate or something maybe for some spelling and they've done it wrong. But just bear that in mind. And like Stacey said, the portions might seem small, but if you've been the buffet for lunch and stuff, you might get there and think, this is it, is this it? But they're always filling.
I know, yeah.
So, You know,
If you've got eyes bigger than your belly,
that's it.
We tend to have.
Order what you want, but just make sure you don't waste it.
So yeah, with a ship that holds over 6,000, and with the not being many included eating places apart from the main dining rooms or the buffet on this ship, the main dining room can tend to get very busy. So whether it's breakfast, lunch or dinner, just give yourself that extra half hour. Don't, bear in mind, if you're trying to, obviously you can't do anything about your dining time, that's your dining time.
Exactly.
But like, try and fit your shows and stuff around that, but just bear in mind to give yourself a little bit of extra time, that's all, because the service in there has been great, but it's obvious to me just how busy they were and how rushed off the feet they were, and they're obviously working very hard and they're very busy, and I know that can then result in service being a bit slower, but it's not their fault.
No.
They couldn't have gone any quicker, believe me.
No, but the service, the standard is still good.
Yes,
they are still very attentive.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Always asking if you want anything else. You know, if you say, can I get some butter or oil? If you want oil for your bread, they'll go and get it for you.
Yeah.
So
they're very good, even though they
it's
are
not their
busy.
fault.
Yeah. Oh no, not at all.
They're still working.
Yeah.
They aren't just standing there talking, and that's why your food's late.
No.
Or taking a little bit longer,
they're
shall we
working
say?
very hard, aren't they?
But yeah, timing. Always check your little daily program. It's on the back all the times, because port days and sea days are different. So just always check.
Sometimes, obviously, you change especially the breakfast and lunch would be slightly different if it was a port or
your dinner's always the same,
a sea day.
But your breakfast and lunch, so bear that in mind.
So there you go, guys. We were a bit disappointed we couldn't actually film it and taste it for you there and then in the dining room, like I explained at the beginning of the video, because this just isn't our style of how we normally do it. But we still wanted to find some way to do it, because like I said, it's a big part of your cruise with an MSC ship, the main dining room. So we just wanted to really show it really, and then just give any tips along the way. So I just hope it's helped you out if you are coming on the Euribia.
Exactly. But there is plenty of other videos we've filmed on the Euribia, other food, ship tours, all that kind of stuff. So there'll be a playlist in the description. Go and watch them if you're coming on or interested in coming on the ship. But we've got a lot of other things to go and do, so we best go crack on with that. Exactly. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.